I've had several comments and messages wanting to discuss the Lamar locker room incident. So that's what we're going to do. So, March 8th, 2022, a student came forward at the Lamar school saying that he had been sexually harassed while in the boys' locker room. Now, Lamar says that they were told to refrain from investigating the incident because local police and the Arkansas State Police had already began the process of investigating the incident. According to an article by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, a Title IX complaint was filed by the victim's mother in the case about a month after the student reported the incident to the school. Now, I will openly admit that I don't know that much about Title IX, but whenever you Google it, it says Title IX requires schools to adopt and publish grievance procedures for students to file complaints of sexual discrimination, including complaints of sexual harassment or sexual violence. Schools can use general disciplinary procedures to address complaints of sexual discrimination. And according to Rain, Title IX was passed in 1972. Congress did this to prevent schools from discriminating against students based on their sex. But over time, it's held up in court cases that schools are required to protect students from sex-based harassment and sexual violence. And if schools don't protect students from those sorts of things, then the school can be held financially responsible to the victims. And that has to happen. The schools do have to do this because they receive financial aid, they receive federal funding. And this isn't just something that applies to, high schools or junior highs. This also applies to colleges and universities. So in Title IX, the school has a Title IX like investor. They have a Title IX representative, coordinator, if you will. And those people are in positions to, I guess, do the Title IX things that are required to be done. Now, the Title IX decision maker for the school district, her name is Wanda Van Dyke. Wanda Van Dyke said that there were, mainly 4 students that were responsible for a total of 3 different incidents. Because after that first incident came out in March 2022, other people came forward and claimed other incidents had happened to them going back into 2021. Now, in the documents, they didn't name the perpetrators. They just gave them like student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4. So the incident that happened in 2021, which was the second allegation to come forward, in that incident, students 1, 2, and 4 were found to be responsible. They were also found to be responsible for the incident in March. So the same 3 students were responsible for the same 2 acts. Now, student 2 was also found to be responsible for a third victim's allegations. So before we talk about the disciplinary measures that were taken, let's talk about what the allegations actually were. Now, you might find it important to know that the victim and the perpetrators involved were all middle school students at Lamar Middle School. Now, I don't find that important to know because I think that SA is SA, but to each their own. So this was the complaint or the allegation that was made by one of the victims, that first victim that came forward. He said on March 8th, 2022, while in the boys' locker room, one of the respondents forcefully put their finger in his rectum. Now, the allegation 2 said on March 14th, 2022, the complainant's pants were pulled down while in the hallway. And I don't really think that this is a one-time incident. This may have been the culmination, but I think that there was abuse going on the whole time because it says beginning summer of 2021 through November of 2021, the complainant experienced SA by other students. As part of the investigation done by Title IX, there was an affidavit that was submitted by one of the respondents, being one of the students that was involved in this. And that student said, when we went into the locker room, I yelled, "Put him in the stall," as a joke meant put blank into the bathroom stall. I proceeded to pick him up at the first sink and set him down at the second sink. Me and name not identified in the report both were laughing at it all. No one was hurt and angry at the time. It was just a joke. I then left the locker room to go lift weights. Other than picking up blank and carrying him to the next sink and setting him down, I did not touch him in any other way or in any offensive manner. Of course, I can't say which respondent out of the 4 that were kind of identified by, student number 1, student number 2. Anyway, I can't say which one that was from. It could have been from the third respondent who really wasn't identified as a perpetrator of anything. but I don't know. It could have been by one or two. This does say that the decision maker was provided a recording of the incident that occurred on March 8th, 2022. The video provided no visual distinguishable evidence. The audio was difficult to understand due to sound distortion of background noise. No transcript was provided, and although the investigator noted in his report that complainant verified voices, there was nothing within the investigator's report to note which voices belonged to the speaker. Excuse me, that actually says to note which voices belong to which speaker. They did utilize some software that was able to take out the background noise so that they could hear more of what was going on with the audio. Now, I'm going to read some of the comments that were made on that audio. If you don't want to hear this, it's your cue to exit stage left. So some of the quotes are: grab his penis, touch his penis. I swear I'm about to piss in your throat. I was graping blank when you walked in. Now, the decision maker did note that that one respondent said in his affidavit, I yelled, put him in the stall as it was a joke. We were both laughing. No one was hurt. But it says that it did not appear to be simply a joke, but rather one of threat and intimidation. One of the coaches did provide an affidavit, and it says that in that affidavit, the coach said that he had had difficulties with this particular class, doing things like incidents of fighting, breaking property, and vandalism, which kind of speaks to the character of those involved. I'm going to read this exact paragraph that I think is very interesting. It says, lack of police report as evidence. While it is understandable that an open investigation be protected, Lamar School District was permitted to conduct an investigation. If the school district was permitted to conduct an investigation, why is the case still open? It has been my professional experience as decision maker and as an investigator that once permitted to conduct an investigation by local law enforcement, the local police department releases any interview and evidence to the school. The Title IX coordinator inquired multiple times as to the status of the investigation and requested to be provided any interview information. As of the date of the written determination, no information has been provided by local law enforcement. Access to interviews conducted by a police investigator could have been provided to the decision maker with more substantial information. So it kind of makes it seem like the Lamar Police Department maybe didn't investigate or take it seriously, maybe. They certainly didn't provide any information to the decision maker in order to make a decision as to what the disciplinary measure as far as the school district should be. There were some other allegations that came forward, like this one says that the respondents reached under the stall and grabbed my balls and touched my butt, grabbed my penis and touched my butt multiple times is consistent with the statements that have been made, and this one was found to be true. In another instance, they threw another kid against the wall and grabbed his balls. And I'm using this terminology because it is the terminology that is quoted in the report. There is a transcript from the recording, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. You can read it here, but if you don't want to read it, I'll tell you some of the things it says. It says, get in the stall. No, no, no. Get in the stall. Put him in the stall. You can hear a crying voice, and then grab his penis, and then no, no, no. Touch his penis. Put him in the stall. Smell his fingers. Someone says, Lord, the more he cries, I'm going to piss on you. I swear I'm about to piss in your throat. Another quote is, all this graping. I was graping blank when you walked in. Push as hard as possible. So yeah, I don't know about you or how you feel about this. If it was my child, I would be irate. I would have sued the school. I really would have. And I don't know that the parents didn't. Maybe they did. I know that they did hire attorneys, but I will tell you that for these actions, the 3 boys involved were given 10 days of out of school suspension and a no contact order with the victims that is set to extend until the end of this current school year. 10 days for graping a classmate. And this is grape. Let's not call it anything other than what it is. It's grape, because if they were a little bit older, they would have been charged as adults. If they were adults, they would be in prison. It's grape.